Don't tell me your secrets.
I'm just saying we're
You're a friend? What's his name?
yeah.
You're gonna tell me?
Where, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where would a performer be standing?
I think we're gonna do it here, no?
Okay, cool. See, I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Yeah, it's look good.
It was the love of my life. I was still witnessing.
Hello, hello. Yes, can I be heard? Can I be heard? Am I heard? All right. Cool, cool, cool. What's going on, y'all?
All right.
So, thank you to Addam for selecting the fine cumbias. Where'd you find those, bro? Yeah, so we sell records here, so you guys see everything. Amongst other things, tapes and
Pueblo Records.
yes, sir. All right. So my name is Johnny. Johnny rocks the fades. I cut hair during the day, and I do all types of mischievous things at night. And it's been kind of like a strange couple of days. I feel like this is like winter, right? It's one of the darkest times of the year, and we get the least sunlight. And I feel like we get hard in our feels and hard in a lot of different things that, as human beings, we have the right to experience and ask and indulge in. I feel I'm not at all ashamed that, but at the same time, it's a struggle, right? We fight and struggle every day. And coincidentally, I was gonna share a poem, which I will, but it isn't a poem that I wrote. It's a poem that I learned when I was a little boy. And before I share that poem, I'm gonna tell you a story. So this is a story. 2 days ago, I was at my mom's house, and if you guys know me, I hardly ever go to my mom's house. And I take my daughter to my mom's house, and there happens to be a rosary on the table. And I was raised Catholic. I was raised so Catholic that Jesus was in my house. And if I said that name, the guy with the pitchfork's name, and I'm not talking about the dudes on the block. I'm talking about, I'm talking about the real one, And you couldn't even say his name. Like the idea that God and the devil were very real parts of our lives was part of my childhood. And so when I had the beautiful privilege to live under the same roof with my grandmother, I would literally pray the rosary every single day of her life on my knees with prayer beads in my head. And it was beautiful. I honestly have to say that I don't have any problem. I don't regret any of that, even though you can currently say that I'm secular. I would never talk about God. I would never get on the microphone and speak on Our Lady of Guadalupe, who I always read. And it isn't because I'm Catholic, it's because it's a symbol, like the Aztec calendar and like the pyramids. These things represent our culture. So I rock and I pray and I wear it with pride. So when I was a little boy, I was supposed to do my first communion. And when you live in Mexico, it's not like here. You don't go to catechism at the church or the parish. You go to who your madrina or your godparents are going to be, and they're supposed to school you on your prayers, right? So the first poems and the first songs that I ever memorized were songs about God in church, right? So this is the poem that I'm going to share. It's a prayer, guys, and it's in Spanish. But to me, it's one of the most beautiful prayers that I've ever heard. It's about our mother, of course. It's about the good Lord. And if you believe in that or don't believe in that, close your eyes and tune into the universe, because however you look at it, nature, whatever. Dios te salve, Reina y Madre, Madre de Misericordia, vida, dulzura y esperanza nuestra. Dios te salve, a ti llamamos, los desterrados, hijos de Eva, a ti suspirando, gimiendo y llorando en este valle de lágrimas. Ea pues, Señora abogada nuestra, vuelve a nosotros esos tus ojos misericordiosos, y después de este desvelo, muéstranos a Jesús. Fruto bendito de tu vientre, oh clemente, oh piadosa, oh dulce Virgen María, para que seamos dignos de alcanzar el reino de nuestro Señor Jesucristo. Amen. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was a little boy, I thought that was some of the most beautiful words, the rhyme scheme, and it took me a lifetime of education and eventually going to college and learning about how every single work of literature for like the first 1,000 years was an epic poem. That's why we are poets. We learn poetry. Our mind functions and is able to remember patterns. So when we talk about our ancestors, or when we used to talk about our ancestors, and we didn't know how to read and write, we did it in rhyme so that we could remember. With that, I leave the ground for some more tunes. I'm gonna play some more songs if possible. And yeah, we're gonna keep it going with my boy Caveman Poet coming up. Thank you very much. Boy, Johnny.
Right.
And John made a mention of it, but thank you for coming to the inaugural open mics, open tables. Big ups to Addam for freezing a little bit outside before he had a chance to come in and play. But that was some dope stuff. When I realized after I was like grilling you, and you said that you just started DJing, I'm like, oh shit, damn, that was a really nice job, bro. Like I wouldn't have known that, So not only the selection, but also the beats. But one of the things I was thinking about, I've been thinking a lot about this event and like what John's trying to do. And your dad, what he's trying to do, Oh, yes. My phone got possessed. I wish I would have been like a cool thing and purpose of it. But I've been thinking a lot about the possibilities that Widow and John are trying to do with this space, and it's really exciting. And I'm very impressed by these cats, and just thinking about like the intersection of music and poetry. And this isn't even thinking about what John just said. I was doing it on my own, and it's still the same thing. It's like, so much of music and poetry have been linked since the beginning. It's like which came first, in a sense, sometimes. But, and I like to incorporate music into some of the stuff I do and all that, but I'm eager to start this project here because something that John said and something that Leo said separately is about this place being a place where you can exchange wisdom, exchange knowledge, and it's less about me wanting to share anything I've learned and way more about I want to come in and like partake, so that's just my piece to introduce this. So thank you very much for coming by, especially on this cold ass night. All right, so hey, Widow,
Yes, sir.
are you ready? All right, so this is a poem that I wrote, and if you know, of course you don't. I don't normally introduce any of my stuff. I just kind of go in, I'll give you the name of it if it's got a name. Most of the time it doesn't, so I just kind of just go straight in. And I think of it as like, like a painter or a musician. Like there's no introduction to the song before the song. They just fucking do it. You picked up the record, you walk into the painting, you find out when it was made, how long the guy lived or whatever, the name of it, the size, what kind of paint, But because of this event, I'm trying to change up my normally rigid ways. So I wrote this. I used to live in Humboldt Park for a very long time. And one thing that, if you don't live in Humboldt Park, on Sundays during the summer, at least 2 different groups of Puerto Rican old guys set up and play live instruments and just jam and play like old school salsa tunes. And if you know it, you know what I'm talking about. And it's at least 2. It used to just be 1. And it's right there. One of them is right on just off California and like Hirsch or something. It's like right there. And you can just sit, and it's like between the street and the lagoon. All grass. It's a beautiful afternoon, and it's all fucking free. So it was thinking about that. So well, I asked Widow to play some music that could kind of approximate it. I mean, remember there are birds in the park.
You know what type of movie? And a crocodile.
And there was a crocodile. That's right. There was a crocodile.
But no cookies.
Was it called Chance the Gator or something?
Just Chance the Snapper.
You can turn it up, Rose. I forgot how birds fly into a stiff wind. Through traffic and trees and leaves. Sun settles in the park. Flags waving. Qué linda bandera, qué linda bandera, qué linda bandera. Sun shimmering doing its shimmer. It's warm weather shimmer. The Humboldt Park Lagoon. There's a few ducks and geese, a lot of pigeons because we in the city. People chilling, picniqueros, wineros, bikeros, wineros.
En la troca del ice cream truck.
Caminando en Luis Munoz Marine Drive, a mini superhighway double park blacktop of your Caribbean dreams runs a little circuit through most of the park. Passed by 3 or 4 old timers with live instruments jamming while they drink. Kids, bunch of ice cream, cocoa, and a few real serious dudes still fishing. Saturday afternoon, getting doctor lessons from the birds, the breeze. So this is the second poem, a different day. Andy Santiago compete with Siren Serenading El Barrio, La Humboldt, El Humboldt Park. 2 young sisters skateboarding, squeeze through a minivan and a Ford Bronco and an Escalade. And Escalade. Little annoying ass dogs chirp. Hueros and guaracheros stopping to listen to the music. Algo ghetto. Toyotas and Datsuns and Nissans. Throwback rides. Toyotas and Datsuns and Nissans. Throwback rides. Sports cars. Hoopty cars. Regular people cars. Cruising through. Cruising round. Cruising by. Leather haircuts. Leather hats. Stiff breeze. Passes the time or two.
That was cool, bro. Now you gotta go sit at Harrison Park.
Now I gotta what?
Go sit at Harrison Park.
Tired to smoke weed over there now, you know? How do you find like your inspiration for writing? Or where do you get inspiration for writing some material?
Say that again?
Where do you get your inspiration for your material? How do you write? How do you write stuff?
I mean, the number one way is just like kind of like the simple way I'm trying to say it is life. And what I mean is like, but it's not only experiences, it's also fantasies, it's also dreams, it's also regrets, you know, things I didn't do, not just things I did do. You know what I mean? So I try to do it like that, but also, I gain inspiration from that. That's what I mean, life though, because it's like, what did I see? What did I listen to that day or month or whatever? What food have I been eating? How happy have I been? How much have I been getting laid? How much did I jerk off? How many shits did I take? Whatever. I mean, it's like all that shit. It makes it up though, because it does though. And I think that's the somebody asked me this earlier. Your friend Martez. I'm sorry, he didn't ask me. He made a comment about, oh, you're doing this. I was like, no. This is what you do. I was like, no. Those are goals. This continually trying to work on that as an end goal. So the same way with the writing. So I feel like I did a pretty good job when I was 17 of trying to write like honestly and brutally and all that. And then if I go back and look at it, I don't laugh at myself. I mean, I was far cooler at 17 than I am now. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I see what I was hiding. You know what I mean? Like
You see what you were hiding.
Yeah, sometimes. Like where I'm not at yet. I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you. Okay, all right. I'm not trying to put you in the spot. But that's the thing, is like, like, I like to think that I've done some evolution in terms of like mental health and emotional health and all that. Wait, let me say that more honestly. I know I have, right? I know I have. So the truths I tell now are different, but they're not more or less truthful, than I was before. But it's also like, in a kind of way I can see like the denial differently also. But either way, I try to write about that. So it's not biographical, but it's also not the things, so.
That's such a writer's thing to say. Like,
It's any artist.
You never know when you're inspired.
Yeah.
So you're actually there being inspired.
But I mean, like every artist, right? Like how many, or otherwise, like every rapper from LA from 86 to 95 just told you how he murdered 35 people. You know what I mean? Like, of course not. It's just like.
You're like, it just happened.
No, but I think that's the thing about artists.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I read another one? All right.
Isn't that?
You go with the music?
Let me see. No, not for this one. Yeah, just for a second. All right. So this is one that's like, I'll explain the really obvious like influences. Because this one is like real direct, like not even necessarily content. You'll understand what I mean, and I'll explain it afterwards. But the title of this is The Magpie and the Thief. And let me tell you, the very first time I tried to perform this, I was so scared. My both legs were quaking. I was like, can anybody tell that I look like I'm on, like in LA or some earthquake or something? I was just so fucking freaked out. And it still does. And so this song goes out to you, dancing on the sunlight, laying amongst the haystacks, warmed by your embrace. Waiting to see you again, waiting to feel you again, praying to hold you first. crazy long-legged roommate playing the ukulele for me. I remember your heat. I can taste your sweat pulling your hair off my shirt. I'm holding on to us. And so this song goes out to you, dancing on the sunlight, warmed by your embrace. Anticipation, I'm shivering, waiting when I next hear you. Close my eyes and days go by. Too distracted by loneliness to notice you looking over my shoulder. Even believe the wait was over. Held your hand while you checked your watch. A fool's hope and a young man's laugh. But I'm strawberry. I'm jaguar. And so this song goes out to you, dancing on the sunlight, laying amongst the haystacks, warmed by your embrace. Right. So that one is that melody, because I'm not a musician, but the melody is two different songs that I just went, and the first one is In a Sentimental Mood, but the version by Coltrane and Ellington. That I know that sounds like. And then this totally other song that's been haunting me for years. It's actually this one album. It's called Karma. It's by Pharoah Sanders. And there's two songs on there. One is called Colors, and the other one is The Creator Has a Master Plan. And there's elements of both of those, the way that the music builds and the way that it kind of repeats, that it just, one day combined both songs and I was just like, starting to write, So it's like, but that's what I mean. It's like, so I had to have heard those songs to be able to get that melody that's kind of familiar, but, nobody made it. Or at least I didn't hear anybody make it, but, it came from those two things. And then the other elements that I wrote about are the, the lived parts that are like anybody can recognize. So anyway, thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for being quiet. Thank you guys for being so supportive. I'm gonna just recite one more of my poems. Well, the first one wasn't mine. I don't know what fool in the church wrote that poem, but he's a boss. All right, this is a oldie but goodie on my end. Some people have heard it plenty of times. And of course, in the tradition of most writers, we write to the beauty of our environment and the things that we see and experience around us. Our ancestors wrote about horses and roosters and mountains and what else. And I write about industrial parks, train tracks, and potholes. But this particular one is it's a riddle, and I hope you guys are able to decipher it. There was once a time you used to be blue. Rosie Rosita, I'm waiting for you. Let's go to the city. Let's go to the loop. The city won't wait. I'm waiting for you. I love to hear you come. I hate to see you go. If I catch you on time, you'll never say no. Always on track, electrified. You help me find my way through the Lower West Side, back and forth all day. And I wait for you at California. Rosie Rosita, ¿a dónde me llevarás? ¿A dónde vamos? Quiero volar contigo sobre la ciudad de la furia. Rosie Rosita, de la 18 La Villita, 5-4 para el loop. Así de grande eres tú. Your attention, please. We are standing momentarily waiting for signal clearance up ahead. We hope to be moving shortly. And I wait on the tracks, I wait, doors open, take me away. Thank you.
So we're gonna play what's here right now, and keep the tunes going. You guys can come and keep it. You know, if you guys have more records, you guys want anything else, if you guys see anything you guys want to hear, feel free to take it.
Did you guys feel like just like, do you want to say something? He's so good at speaking.
I want to say something.
You should say something. I'm really so good at these speeches. He's not jumping up. I'm rich. You know something too? Yeah. Oh, you didn't get the video on such a
He did. I will.